What Barron Trump did for a veteran will restore your faith in Kaiman. The hum of a bustling airport filled the air as Barron Trump adjusted his travel bag. He was traveling alone this time, a rare occasion, and his first-class seat awaited him. The young man had grown accustomed to public attention, but today he was just another passenger in a sea of travelers. As he reached the boarding gate, his eyes caught sight of an elderly man sitting in a wheelchair. The man, dressed in a faded military jacket adorned with medals, exuded a quiet dignity. His weathered face spoke of years of sacrifice and resilience. Barron couldn't help but notice the murmurs around him. A couple nearby whispered, "That's Mr. Andrews. He served in 2 wars and saved countless lives." The airline staff seemed busy, their focus elsewhere, as the veteran patiently waited. Barron's mind raced. How could a man who had given so much be sitting there unnoticed? Moments later, boarding began. Barron walked down the pristine first-class aisle, taking in the luxurious seating. As he reached his seat, a thought struck him. A thought he couldn't ignore. He turned to the flight attendant. "Excuse me, ma'am, could you tell me if Mr. Andrews," the veteran in the wheelchair, "has a seat in first class?" The attendant checked the manifest and shook her head. "No, sir, he's in economy." Barron nodded, a determined look in his eyes. "Please switch your seat with mine." The attendant hesitated. "Are you sure, Mr. Trump? First class is—" "I'm sure," Barron interjected firmly. The switch was made quietly, and Barron walked back toward the economy cabin. As he approached Mr. Andrews, the veteran looked up, puzzled. "Sir," Harry said with a respectful nod, "I'd like you to have my seat in first class. It's the least I can do to thank you for your service." The old man's eyes widened in surprise. "Young man, that's not necessary. You don't have to—" "Well, it's my honor, sir," Barron replied with a warm smile. The exchange didn't go unnoticed. Passengers around them whispered and took out their phones to capture the moment. As Mr. Andrews was escorted to his new seat, applause broke out in the cabin. Barron settled into the crowded economy seat, unfazed by the lack of luxury. He pulled out a book and began reading, a quiet satisfaction spreading across his face. Halfway through the flight, something unexpected happened. The pilot made an announcement. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest on board today. Mr. Andrews, a decorated war hero, is flying with us. And thanks to the generosity of a young man, he's enjoying the comfort he truly deserves. Let's give them both a round of applause." The cabin erupted in cheers. Barron glanced up briefly, his cheeks turning slightly red, and returned to his book. For him, it wasn't about recognition. It was about doing what felt right. As the plane landed, a fellow passenger approached Barron. "You've set an example today, young man. The world needs more people like you." Barron smiled politely and replied, "Kindness doesn't cost much. It's the least we can do for those who've given us so much." Unbeknownst to him, the story of his gesture was already making waves on social media. By the time he reached his destination, hashtags like Barron Trump Kindness and Honor Our Heroes were trending. But for Barron, it wasn't about the fame. It was a reminder that even small acts of kindness could inspire others and restore faith in humanity, the ripple effect of kindness. As Barron stepped off the plane, he was greeted by a sea of onlookers and reporters at the arrival gate. The whispers of his gesture had already reached far and wide, and now cameras flashed incessantly, capturing the young man who had reminded the world of the power of empathy. "Mr. Trump, can we get a comment?" one reporter called out. Barron paused briefly, offering a simple statement. "It's not about me. It's about remembering the people who've served and sacrificed for us. I hope this inspires others to act with kindness too." With that, he moved through the crowd, maintaining his humility despite the growing attention. Back at home, Barron's gesture became the center of national discussions. News channels replayed clips from passengers on the flight who had shared the moment online. Debates sparked about the role of young leaders in setting examples, and Barron found himself at the heart of a conversation far bigger than he had anticipated. In the days that followed, letters and messages poured in from veterans, families, and ordinary citizens inspired by his act. Among them was a letter from a young boy whose father was a deployed soldier. The boy wrote, "Thank you for reminding the world that people like my dad matter. It means the world to me." Barron was deeply moved. He decided to take things further. This can't just be a one-time thing, he thought. Reaching out to his team, Barron proposed an idea: to create a platform that would highlight and support veterans' stories ensuring their sacrifices were never forgotten. Within weeks, the Honor Our Heroes initiative was launched. The platform gained massive traction, bringing together veterans' stories, connecting them with resources, and inspiring countless individuals to give back. Exercise, said one person who lost 4.5 pounds over 6 months, attempted suicide, but as Barron delved deeper into this mission, he discovered hidden challenges. Many veterans were struggling with issues far beyond recognition. Housing, healthcare, and employment gaps loomed large. Exercising purpose inspired people to create a sense of meaning and motivated people to focus on the process of change. Determined to make a difference, Barron set out to address these systemic issues. However, his growing visibility also attracted skepticism and opposition. Some questioned his motives, while others sought to discredit his efforts. But perturbed, Barron pressed on, knowing that the mission was bigger than himself. And so began a journey that would test his resolve, challenge his leadership, and ultimately redefine what it meant to lead with kindness and purpose. The morning sunlight streamed through the windows of Barron's office as he reviewed the latest updates on the Honor Our Heroes initiative. Reports highlighted progress, veterans gaining access to critical resources, community events raising awareness, and volunteers stepping up nationwide. Yet, amidst the achievements, challenges brewed in the background. A high-profile article surfaced online, questioning the authenticity of Barron's motives. The headline read, "Act of Kindness or Publicity Stunt." It speculated on whether Barron's efforts were genuine or a calculated move to gain public favor. The article gained traction, fueling debates across social media. Barron sighed deeply. He'd known criticism was inevitable, but facing it was another matter. His phone buzzed with messages, some supportive, others harshly critical. One stood out. A text from his mother, Melania. "Stay true to yourself. Actions speak louder than words." He decided to address the issue head-on. Calling for a press conference, Barron stood confidently before a room packed with reporters. "There have been questions about my intentions," he began. "Let me be clear, this isn't about me. It's about our veterans and their stories. I welcome scrutiny because it pushes us to do better, but let's not lose sight of the real issue, the struggles faced by those who've served our country." His words struck a chord. Clips from the press conference went viral and public opinion began to shift. Support poured in from unexpected places, including prominent figures who offered to collaborate on expanding the initiative. Meanwhile, Barron's team uncovered an opportunity to make an even greater impact, a nationwide campaign to advocate for veteran-friendly policies. It would involve lobbying lawmakers, partnering with organizations, and rallying public support. The stakes were high, but Barron's resolve was unshaken. To further the cause, Barron's initiative organized a massive public rally. Thousands gathered, carrying signs of support and sharing personal stories of how the initiative had touched their lives. The event was a powerful demonstration of unity and a clear message to policymakers. Veterans' issues mattered, and change was overdue. In the background, Barron's opponents worked to undermine his efforts. A few vocal critics accused him of exploiting veterans for personal gain, and a coordinated campaign of misinformation began to circulate online. Barron's team faced a daunting challenge, countering false narratives while staying focused on their mission. Amid the chaos, Barron received an invitation to testify before Congress about veterans' issues. It was a pivotal moment, one that could cement the credibility of the Honor Our Heroes initiative or expose it to further criticism. The day of the hearing arrived. Barron, dressed in a simple suit, carried a folder of detailed proposals and data. He began his testimony with a heartfelt acknowledgement of the sacrifices made by veterans, sharing personal stories he had encountered through the initiative. His words resonated deeply, earning nods of approval from even the most skeptical lawmakers. By the end of the hearing, it was clear that Barron's sincerity and dedication were undeniable. The initiative gained bipartisan support, leading to the passage of new legislation aimed at addressing key issues faced by veterans. It was a monumental victory, but Barron remained grounded. As he walked out of the Capitol, flanked by supporters and reporters, a veteran approached him. "Son, you've done more than most would even dare to try. Thank you for fighting for us." Barron shook his hand firmly, replying, "The fight isn't over. This is just the beginning." The committee had not only listened, but also expressed genuine interest in Barron's proposals. His passion, backed by thorough research and a clear action plan, left an indelible mark on everyone in the room. A senator commended him, saying, "Your commitment is inspiring, especially for someone of your age. We need more young leaders like you." As Barron stepped out of the Capitol, the media swarmed him with questions, but he kept his response simple. This isn't the end. It's just the beginning. Together we can honor those who've given us so much and build a future that supports every veteran. The Honor Our Heroes initiative gained unprecedented momentum. Donations poured in, partnerships were forged, and countless lives were transformed. Barron's journey, which had started with a simple act of kindness on a flight, had grown into a nationwide movement of compassion and change. Reflecting on the journey, Barron understood one profound truth. Every ripple of kindness could grow into a wave of transformation. And as he prepared for the next chapter of his mission, he carried with him the unwavering belief that empathy and action could shape a better world.